그걸 해라. These surges are literally earth-moving events. So rare, they occur only a few places on the planet. But water possesses an even greater power. In a land where spring and summer are brief, and survival is a struggle against drought, water holds the gift of life. Some of the smallest creatures in this vast and arid landscape are the most remarkable. The native Great Sand Dunes tiger beetle is found nowhere else on Earth. Perfectly adapted for this environment, tiger beetles thrive in the sparse vegetation of the open dune field. To researchers, the cool summer nights reveal another universe of life.
Where are you guys?
The nocturnal residents of the dunes. The giant sand treader camel cricket is one of a handful of insects that have adapted to this harsh environment.
Some are so specific to certain areas of the sand dunes, it's like they're very restricted to the habitat type. It's not just a big pile of sand. I mean, it's a pretty useful living area.
The exuberance of spring and summer spills everywhere. The Great Sand Dunes have a way of bringing out the child in everyone and in every generation.
Well, it was a big playhouse.
Jack Williams' family homesteaded in the area. He remembers it as his secret playground.
Eddie Wellington and I would climb that big dune down there whenever we were near it so that we could sail off of it. That was great.
But this playground can quickly turn wild with a simple turn of the weather or change of the season. In the summer, sand temperatures can soar to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And the force of the wind can be seen and felt. While spring is the windiest season, summer storms can bring gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Hinting at the answer to the most asked question at the Great Sand Dunes.
Why is there so much sand in Colorado?
Just try to comprehend why it's in here and amongst all these mountains.
Scientists believe that over time, massive amounts of sand and sediment, originating mostly in the San Juan Mountains, were carried by streams into the San Luis Valley. Prevailing southwesterly winds bounce the sand grains to the northeast. At the western face of the Sangre de Cristos, the sand was trapped in a low curve of the mountains. Opposing northeasterly winds whipped it into tall dunes and continue to do so today.
These dunes, therefore, move vertically or grow vertically. And we're sitting on one of the tallest dunes in North America.
The dunes tower up to 750 feet, covering some 30 square miles. But amazingly, the massive dunes represent only 11% of the sand deposit, which blankets more than 300 square miles. In some places, the sand extends an additional 350 feet below the creekbed surface. While geologists believe there is little new sand being introduced into the system today, there is no question this is a work in progress. Moving sand, redepositing it, the wind is ceaselessly carving a sculpture that, while always changing, remains in perfect balance. The unexpected beauty of this place has drawn people to the dunes for hundreds, even thousands of years. Some of the first people in this region may have seen these dunes much as they appear today. 11,000 years ago, Clovis people hunted mammoths nearby. Later, Ute and Apache people stripped bark off ponderosa pines to use for food and medicine. Some of these peeled trees still stand near Medano Creek, connecting modern tribal members with part of their past. Spanish explorers entered the San Luis Valley in the 1600s, followed by Spanish and Mexican settlers who built homes and ranches. They endowed the area with Hispanic culture and language, which endures today, with places like Sangre de Cristo or Blood of Christ Mountains, Medano or Sand Hill Creek. Anglo settlers soon followed, many looking for gold in the nearby mountains. Today, the handprints of homesteaders are slowly fading. Native plants and animals are reclaiming ranch lands as their own. By August, Medano Creek is a ghost of what it once was. The summer sun has melted the snow in the high country, and the water that just weeks ago surged through here in waves is reduced to a trickle. The dried earth now waits quietly for late summer storms. When the rains come, the land responds almost overnight. And in the stream beds, a bit of magic. The water in Medano Creek and Sand Creek seems to slip away, but the water is still here within the system. Some of it will even reappear on the other side of the dunes. If the Great Sand Dunes seem like the desert of myth, this is the oasis. These lakes and wetlands are a bejeweled secret of the Great Sand Dunes. All year round, snowmelt, rainfall, and creek water have been seeping into massive underground aquifers. Years later, some of it will resurface south and west of the dune field. Although these lakes are certainly deepest during the snowmelt of spring, even in late summer, the wetlands are lush and green. This is no mirage. The creek water that slipped away now supports a diversity of life not commonly seen in a high mountain desert. As birds gather to migrate south, up on Medano Pass, the golden aspens whisper of autumn. The chilly winds signal an early winter and remind us of the cycle that links these landscapes. woven together by the rhythms of wind, water. It is that personal connection that draws many people to return to the dunes and to share the experience with others. And for anyone who accepts the challenge, climbing the dunes is a struggle. Quickly discovered by those new to the dunes, and those who know them well. The reward is a panoramic view of one of the rarest natural systems on Earth, linking jagged peaks to sandy desert to lush wetland. With the understanding of the interdependence and vulnerability of these varied landscapes, Congress established Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, expanding the boundaries to include components of the entire dune system. This extraordinary place holds a promise for future generations, that the days will continue to reveal nature's wonders, and the nights will fall quiet and still. From sand to summit, this is Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve.